Hello everybody, my name is Peter and today we're going to do a blind smell test of some pens and pencils. But they're smelly pencils, smelly pens, so they're actually called Smensels and Smens. You'll see this is actually true. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to close my eyes and I have them stashed in my sleeve right now, and then when I pull them out I'm going to see, starting right now, if I can guess what they're called. I'm going to try to pop this open, and hopefully with a quick rotate here you'll be able to see what this actually is. Hopefully you know the truth and you're just going to have to trust that I'm not peeking. I'm popping it open. Hopefully the smell is contained strongly inside of this Smensel smell containment unit. I'm already smelling something. It smells kind of chocolatey, kind of coffee-y, kind of woodsy. I'm gonna go with chocolate. Where's the writing part of it? Don't know what's going on here. They're not even sharpened. Okay, I'm looking. I was right. It's chocolate swirl. All right, I got that one pretty close to right. Chocolate swirl. I'm not sure how swirled chocolate tastes different than unswirled chocolate, but maybe it's a pretty good chocolate smell. Like there's almost actually cocoa powder in there. All right, I'm pulling another one out. I'm gonna pop it open. Why do I think of the weird thing? I think coffee for a lot of these because they put so many different flavors in coffees nowadays. I'm getting hints of celery, hints of vanilla. I think there's a lot of like raw vanilla in there. Okay, I'm giving up. What is it? Marshmallow? What does a marshmallow smell like? And why do I smell so much celery in it? That's weird. Marshmallow. Pulling out another Smensel. Let's see what we got here. Oh. This one has a very, very, very strong lemon scent right off the bat. Some sort of lemon cleaner or one of those like a lemon candy, like a lemon drop. It's very strong. I'm impressed by how strong these smells are. Okay, I give up. Lemon meringue. I don't really know what that is. That's some kind of dessert or something. It needs like a little more sugar in there for it to be something that I would eat as a dessert. I don't know. I felt like if I ate something that was this lemony, my tongue would shrivel up and fall right out of my mouth. But it is very lemony, no doubt. All right, finally is a Smen. You guys like smelling Smen? I feel like I am just kind of smelling plastic. I'm getting images of like a garage, like a tire shop, getting my oil changed, getting an inspection on my car. That's the images that are getting in my mind right now. A little bit of licorice, maybe, I'm not sure. A little bit of coffee, dark, kind of bitter smells, earthy a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of like an oil licorice coffee thing going on here. Caramel macchiato. I didn't get much of the caramel, but I got a little bit of the macchiato. So I'll say I was like, I was 50% there. I was also 75% in a different direction, but at least I got it. I said coffee at least. I get partial credit, right? Right, guys? All right, let's warm these pencils up as we talk about Squarespace. They provide so many tools and services for building and hosting your own website. They've got it all in one place. It's what I use for my website, and it's been several years now that I've been doing that. I like the e-commerce options for letting people buy stuff on your website, whether they're digital products, like maybe you make some art and you want to sell some phone wallpapers, or you want to sell something physical and ship it to them. You can mark something fulfilled and it'll automatically notify your customer via email. check out other things like members only areas and just the whole fluid engine that helps to build your website without having to be like a specialized web designer. Like, you don't got to know that. You just got to want a website. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/PeterDraws for 10% off your first website or domain. Oh, also, now looking more closely at the different pencils I have here, only 2 of these are Smelliest, and the first one was a Snifty. So I actually have 2 different brands here. 2 Smelliest, a Snifty, and a Smen. The Smelliest came pre-sharpened, but the Snifty needs to be sharpened. So I'm going to do that now in this cool pencil sharpener I have. That's a little better. Yeah, there we go. Nice and sharp. Okay, let's go. Smetzel, Smen, and Snifty time. It's pretty cool how we all have our own personalities and preferences, and we're our own person, right? But I wonder how much that would change if we were able to choose our own name. I know we can choose our own name like everyone. If you ever tell someone, oh, I wish I could change my name, they're all like, you can. You just got to go to a court. You just got to go to the judge. You can legally change your name. I know, but it's a huge hassle. And I mean, apart from the court work, the court, like having to fill out probably about 1,000 pieces of paperwork and figure out how to, it seems very, very inconvenient. But apart from that, you've already used a name for much of your life. That seems annoying. I mean, it's annoying enough when I get a new credit card and I have to change my credit card number and everything. I can't imagine what it would be like to have to change your name and all the paperwork and everything throughout my whole life. Anyways, the weird thing is we feel like we're kind of forming ourselves as a person as we grow up, but still one of the main core things about us is something our parents gave us. But now that I say that, I'm thinking maybe almost everything is something our parents gave us because we're just kind of products of our upbringing. I did not mean for this to get so philosophical, honestly. As I grow up, as I become an adult, I'm gradually seeing ways that I'm looking and acting and being like my dad. Sometimes like my mom, but mostly like my dad, just like preferences I have or ways my body is the same or the ways my brain operates similarly. But still, I don't know what point it would be right to be able to, let a person choose their name or what you would call them until then. But I wonder how different it would be because it seems like we're growing and developing as we age, but then we're stuck with a name choice that was the preference of a person that came before us, that grew up generations before us, or a generation. It's like, my name is Peter, your name might be something else, but that was what seemed popular to someone who was alive before you, right? It's not really a product of your current time. Like if I had chosen a name when I turned 10, a first name, it would have been a lot different, I think, than if I had chosen it when I turned 18, for example. Probably the 10-year-old name would have been a lot cooler. The older you get, you either start getting more mature and start making you would probably choose a name that was more responsible, or either if you were in like a rebellious teenager phase, you would choose a really, really crazy inappropriate name. But then I feel like if you asked like an 8 or a 10-year-old to choose a name for themselves, they would just really honestly choose something that they liked, something that they thought sounded cool, a name they were just honestly a fan of. That's my first impression. I haven't been hanging out with a lot of kids that age recently, so I'm a little fuzzy on the way their brains work about things like that, but that's my impression. If I had to choose, see even weirdly, if I had to give myself a name right now, it's been too long. I would choose Peter. I like the name Peter now. I don't know how long someone would have to have a name before they're like, I really want a different one. How long do they have it before it's part of them and they can't see themselves having a different one? I mean, I think I would survive with a different name. I could do it. I think I've practiced giving myself different names in all the RPG video games I've played where you have to give your character a name. Sometimes the name never even pops up again anywhere, depending on the type of game you're playing. It's just like the only time you ever see the name is when you're like selecting the character when you load up the game. Okay, sometimes it never even pops up in the game. Sometimes it pops up a ton. But I think those little exercises of naming a character is like a little exercise of naming myself. Because that's like a character in a video game is like a tiny version of yourself. And it's a role-playing game, so you're wondering, what would it be like if I did things this way? Am I gonna be law-abiding? Am I gonna be evil? Am I gonna be a magician or a ranger, with a bow and arrow? You start to wonder things about yourself, and it's easier to make. I think it's fun in video games because you can make a bunch of little decisions that you don't need to overthink as much, depending on the video game. Sometimes video games, they got you overthinking stuff. But the stakes are ultimately pretty low. I think there would be, if people could name themselves at whatever age, I think there would be a lot more cooler, weirder, different names that weren't typical Peter names, There would be more names that were like nouns. Like more people might name themselves Excalibur or something. People might try to feel themselves and give themselves more confidence through their names. If a parent names their child Excalibur, it's a little bit weird, oh, my child, this is going to name them after a mythical sword and they're going to be strong and powerful. It's like, but yeah, they're still also going to be a little baby and they're going to need help and they're still human. But if a person chooses Excalibur for themselves, that's like self-empowering. I don't know. It's a different angle. Choosing a name for yourself versus choosing a name for a little newborn infant. Some names change as the person grows older. Like if you name someone James, sometimes they go by Jimmy. Or if you name someone Timothy, sometimes they go by Timothy as a little kid, and then Timothy, For some reason, Timmy is like why do I know little kids that went by Timmy? It just sounds cuter, has a softer ending at the end. Anyways, let me know what you think. If you could effortlessly change your name right now, would you? And would it be cool? Or would you just would you go from like Jeff to Jared, from Amber to Ashley, or would it be something cool like Ashley to Armageddon? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But then maybe it would soften words like Armageddon if there were a bunch of Armageddons walking around with lattes.